Welcome to Project Management Mainline. This is where we're going to be taking a look at various aspects of project management and bringing everything together, making a 360 trip around project management, but making it very lean and mean. If you are getting ready for any professional exam, you probably realize that there are many moving parts. Well, this exercise is going to help us keep everything together in one cohesive whole. So let's go ahead and get started. In project management, we apply knowledge and skills, tools and techniques to projects to get to an end goal, to get a deliverable or something of that nature. We're also looking to get to an end goal. So it's not enough to have a deliverable. The deliverable is step one, but we also need to look into getting the goal, the chief aim, the outcome. And it starts off like this. It starts off with the creation of a project charter. So I'm going to use very generic language. Okay. The project charter is developed. That is the very first thing that happens. After the project charter is developed, we can then take this information and we can funnel it into the creation of a number of things. So here we have a project charter going in here. And this process is called identify stakeholders. And as a result of you identifying your stakeholders, you're going to get an output from here, which is known as a stakeholder register. Stakeholder register. Okay? Your stakeholder register contains information that identifies stakeholders, and you also do some analysis regarding these stakeholders. Okay? This is a pivotal step in project management when we develop the project charter, because the project charter gives us a vision of what exactly is being done and why. As we develop this project charter, we're going to have inputs from other places coming in here, such as a business case, a benefits management plan. All of those are going to help us to create our project charter and make it make sense. Okay? All right. So after we've developed our project charter, the most important thing that happens next is the creation of something called a project management plan. So, with our project charter developed, not only are we able to identify stakeholders, but we're also able to go forward and create a project management plan. So we have a process here that is called develop project management plan. That just means we are creating a plan that the team is now able to run off. The team is now able to take this project management plan that we're creating here, and they're able to say, these are our marching orders. This is what needs to be done. Let's go ahead and do it. So again, we're going to have an output from here, and it's called a project management plan. Okay. The project management plan that you're creating here is actually going to feed a number of processes. In fact, except these two processes, pretty much everything else in project management theoretically could use this project management plan. So we're going into another process here, and this process is called direct and manage project work. And this is where, theoretically speaking, the work is being done, right? We have our project management plan guiding us on how to carry out the work. Now, from here, a number of things could happen. Now, as a result of the direct and manage project work process, we get an output known as deliverables. All right, we get deliverables as a result of carrying out the work. Deliverable just means it's a product, it's a service, or a result of some sort. When we get deliverables as an output, these deliverables will then go to a process. This process is known as control quality. Okay, think about it. As you're getting the work done and you get a deliverable, the next logical thing you should do with that deliverable is get it tested, inspect it, right? So we have some inspection that's going to go on there, okay? When we are done with the inspection, hopefully it will be a successful inspection that passes the test. So we're going to get an output from here, and that output, if it did pass the test, we call it a verified deliverable. Okay? Your verified deliverable is a stamp of approval. This verified means that the quality control team internal to our performing organization has assessed it, and they found that this deliverable is fit to go to the customer for the customer's inspection. It's one thing for us to say it's good as the performing organization, but it's another thing for the customer to also agree. All right, so verified deliverable is an output of control quality, and the verified deliverable is going to a process known as validate scope, where it will be checked for correctness, will ensure that it's fit for use, it conforms to requirements, and it satisfies the customer. All right? So think about it. You charter the project, you develop a plan that's many, many things together. You execute the plan by carrying out the work, and you got deliverables. Remember, other things are happening in the background. There's potential lessons learned each segment or phase. There's development of the team going on. There's many other things happening, but we're focusing on where the value is going, right? So authorization, planning, deliverables being created, goes to the quality control people, stamp of approval. They say it's a verified deliverable. And now the next step is for a customer to inspect the deliverable and validate scope. Now, you know PMI's terminology has been verb noun for many years. So validate scope is a process, control quality is a process. Project Charter developed, I put a spin on it, but it's actually developed Project Charter, that's the process. But you get the idea of the main outputs that come from here. Validate scope If our customer inspects this and they are happy with it, then at that point we have something called an accepted deliverable. Okay? An accepted deliverable. Now at this point, the accepted deliverable is a stamp of approval on a deliverable acceptance form that says what we did is good to go. Customer has agreed, customer has approved this. The next step is we're ready to close this out, because if it's accepted, we can close out either a phase in the project, or let's say this is the final deliverable, or that there's only one deliverable. Well, we need to be able to go out and close it, right? Close this whole thing. So the accepted deliverable now becomes an input to a process known as close project or phase. And as this goes into close project or phase, the final thing that needs to happen is a deliverable transition. The PMI in the PMBOK 6, they would call it product, service, or result transition. We're just going to make it simple here. And this is a terminal process. So we're just going to show it with these two bars at the end, showing you that's it. That's the end of the project. And what you get out of this is called a product, service, or result transition. I'm just calling it PSRT. And that just means deliverable, deliverable transition. And by transition, it's like a handover of sorts. Transition. It's a handover to the customer. It's a handover to the end user. It's a handover to operations. Okay? So, my friends, over the past number of minutes, we've been taking a look at how project management works. Let's go through it one by one. A project charter is developed. The project charter is used to identify stakeholders. This stakeholder register could go to several other processes. So I'll just keep this as a placeholder. Other processes. And there's really no need to memorize other processes it goes. So I'm leaving it very high level for you to just make common sense out of it. But we could use our stakeholder register to understand who do we need to collect the requirements from, who should we call to the risk meetings, and so on. The next thing that happens after the project charter, develop project management plan. We get our project management plan. You got to remember all of the itty bitty things that are in this project management plan. I hope you remember, because here we have the chipmunk mnemonic. I'm going to remind you, I saw 6 chipmunks quietly roasting coffee, reading poetry stories. This right here is a reminder of the knowledge areas. Okay? Integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communications, risk, procurement, and stakeholder. These all have components of the project management plan. In integration, we have a change management plan and a configuration management plan that make their way into this project management plan. We have a scope management plan and a requirements management plan, a schedule management plan from schedule, a cost management plan from cost, quality management plan from quality, resource management plan from resource management, communications management plan from communications management, a risk management plan, a procurement management plan, and a stakeholder engagement plan. So all of these should be accounted for in here. Okay. As we plan, we get work done too. So we take our plan and it becomes an input to direct and manage project work. The team works hard, and at some point, we get our deliverables out. The deliverables become an input to control quality because these folks need to inspect the deliverables to ensure that it is indeed verified, it is indeed defect free, it's something that the customer will most likely accept. From validate scope, we get that stamp of approval that gives us an accepted deliverable. The accepted deliverable becomes an input to closing out the project or the phase. We get a product, service, or result transition, which you can also call deliverable transition. Again, there's so many other potential things that could happen, but I wanted to keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 49. See, I've shown you just 8 processes, but if you can understand how these processes come to life, you're on the right path towards success on your exam. I hope you found value from it. Smash the like button, and I'll see you next time.